Hi, I'm Mark Farnham, the founder and director of Apologetics for the Church. This ministry is designed to equip ordinary Christians to effectively engage unbelievers with the gospel of Jesus Christ. This ministry grew out of my frustrations as a pastor many years ago in New London, Connecticut, where I had a desire to reach my community around me, the unbelievers who didn't know Christ, and I didn't know how. And I was very frustrated because I knew as a pastor I was supposed to be leading my church in evangelism. And it wasn't until many years later when I was working on my doctorate at Westminster Theological Seminary in Philadelphia in the area of apologetics that I began to learn how to effectively engage unbelievers with the gospel. And I'll never forget, I was sitting in a classroom and I began to hear answers to questions that I had always wondered about that no one could seem to answer, about how to answer the questions that unbelievers ask, the objections that they raise. And I had learned apologetics primarily through watching videos and listening to preaching and reading some books, but it was all kind of jumbled and did not fit together. And that day, as things began to fall into place, two things began to happen in my heart and mind. The first was an anger that I had never heard this before because this has been around for a long time. And I wondered, why did no one ever teach me this? And the answer probably is because they themselves didn't know. Secondly, there was a burning desire to share this with ordinary Christians because this approach to apologetics is not about high-level academic debates. It's not about engaging philosophy professors at universities. It is about helping average Christians, ordinary Christians without extra degrees in philosophy or science, to know how to talk to people effectively about the gospel, and when they raise questions, how to give an answer. See, we don't live in a world today where people are just waiting for us to come up to them and tell them the facts of the gospel and they'll simply believe. Many people have thought of objections. How can there be only one way? How can there be an all-powerful, all-loving God when there's so much evil and suffering in the world? How can we trust the Bible to be true? And if we don't have answers for them, they often will not let us tell them more about Jesus and the salvation that he provides. And so apologetics is necessary to be able to answer those questions, to clear away obstacles for the hearing of the gospel. And so Apologetics for the Church is a ministry that trains ordinary Christians to be able to do that. The vision of Apologetics for the Church is to effectively equip millions of believers to engage those in their lives who don't know the gospel. People like their neighbors, their friends, their family members, their classmates, their coworkers. In other words, I think it ought to be normal that every Christian is looking for opportunities day by day and knowing how to start conversations and carry on ongoing conversations and relationships that pertain to the gospel. And that is the vision, because I think that will transform churches. If instead of on a Sunday, people come just to listen to a message and to sing songs and to go their way, if they come to church eager to share with other believers and ask for prayer for those that they've engaged with the gospel that week, I think that will transform a church, because there'll be a hunger and a passion and an urgency that the lost people in their lives need to hear the gospel and may have begun to listen to the gospel. And so Apologetics for the Church is essentially a ministry geared toward equipping people to have the confidence and the skill to engage unbelievers effectively. And that's what we're all about. And we believe by the power of the Holy Spirit, the power of the gospel as revealed in the scriptures, that this can be what transforms the church in America and around the world.